public school teachers in New South Wales are quitting their roles in record numbers. 1,800 permanent teachers resigned last year alone. That's double the number that quit in 2020. The Department of Education and Teachers Federation both concerned the trend of resignations is growing year on year. The union blaming unsustainable workloads. The leaked Department of Education figures that emerged yesterday also reveal that 1 in 5 teachers are leaving the profession altogether in the first 5 years on the job. For more on this, I'm joined by the New South Wales Teachers Federation President, Angelo Gavrielatos. Angelo, thanks for your time. So give us a sense, what's underpinning this exodus?
It's pretty serious, isn't it, Kieran? And we're at risk of losing the future of the profession. This is something that we've been warning about for quite some time, but the figures that were revealed yesterday indicate that it's much worse than what we thought. These figures were released some 10 days or so, 2 weeks after the defeat of the Perrottet government, which appears to have gone some way to conceal the severity of the shortage. The reasons for it are well known, and indeed the previous coalition government was in receipt of thousands of pages of documents, internal briefings, which spoke to the causes of this growing crisis: unsustainable workload, uncompetitive pay, and insecure work, all the making of the previous government. But that's cold comfort to the thousands of children every single day who are missing out on their learning, being denied their learning, being denied their future. So we've got a real challenge ahead of us to start to turn this around. The only fortunate thing at the moment is the change of government and the denial and the concealment of the data, of the severity, is over.
So are these teachers going into state? Are they leaving the New South Wales system, or are they leaving the profession altogether?
Well, unfortunately, the department doesn't have exit surveys that would go to those questions. But the figures of those exiting are serious. You've highlighted some of the figures. You've said in your introduction, the numbers exited that resigned last year was double the number that had resigned 2 years ago. In fact, it was 3 times the number that had resigned 6 years ago. So the trend is growing. But what concerns us greatly also, Kieran, is the exit of those early career teachers. That's almost doubled as well in the last couple of years. We've now got nearly 1 in 5 of our early career teachers leaving because of the unsustainable workload, because of the uncompetitive salaries and the insecure work, all of which the government was fully aware of, the previous coalition government. So we're in a real lot of bother here. And as I said, when you're losing your younger teachers, your newer teachers, it's the future of the profession now that's at risk.
Yeah, and those teachers have so much on their shoulders. The new government, I know, having interviewed Chris Minns about it, and he's got various commitments from banning mobile phones in schools to reducing the amount of admin that teachers have to do. But does it fundamentally come down to the prospect of a pay rise?
It's pay and conditions, Kieran. It's labour market economics 101. When you want to attract and retain people in the profession in the numbers that we require, we need a competitive salary and we need sustainable workloads, both of which are non-existent. Over the last 10 years under the previous coalition government, the only thing that went up was workload, and the thing that went down was competitive professional pay. The Minns government went to the election promising to scrap the salary cap and address workload and the administrative burden that teachers are facing, but also insecure work. We've already met with the government formally, and we intend to continue meeting with them, and those negotiations will commence in earnest at the beginning of term 2 of the school year.
And when it comes to the way that it's a broader question, and you see other nations achieve it quite well, that's elevating the status of the profession. How do you do that? You would have put a lot of thought to that over the years.
Well, we certainly have, and Australia's teachers have gotten a real raw deal over the last number of years. There have been now studies, academic studies, one that comes to mind from Sydney University, Professor Nicola Mockler, that looked at the portrayal of the media how media portrays teachers and has portrayed teachers over the last many years, and it's not a pretty story. There's been a lot of denigration of teachers, and that denigration has been apparent not only across the political class, but dare I say, Kieran, and present company accepted, across the media class as well. But the one sure thing necessary to lift the status of the profession is pay. Pay is that important proxy that speaks to the status of the profession. And regrettably, teacher salaries have declined dramatically when compared to other professions over the last number of years.